thrown in prison forever. Nah, Burkina is a country of justice. Do you understand? So if it were another country, they'd fly him in, throw him in the slammer, lock it up. No talk of a trial. Nothing. What the phone said or didn't say, we don't like him, he's bad, boom, he's locked up. It's happened before. You remember the poor Ivorian Lida Kouassi and former defense minister of Laurent Gbagbo?
He was a refugee in Togo, and he wasn't even the only one. God only knows how many of Gbagbo's former dignitaries were refugees in Togo, but people used a simple line of reasoning. Since he was the Minister of Defense, he must be plotting. Come on, hand him over the house. There was no evidence against Lida Kouassi. But Togo handed him over because Togo doesn't want to alienate all of Ivory Coast. Fine, we'll take him. We'll put him on trial. But here, the crimes of DANIBA, who was a refugee in Lomé, they are immense because in all the killings, when you look at Djibo, his name came up, Barcelogo, his name came up, and all the other killings in Burkina, DANIBA's name always comes up. And supported by his spokespeople who are refugees and you know where. So today, those spokespeople, they're the ones who stepped up to say, no, we shouldn't extradite him. So Togo's gonna let him be, he's gonna trigger more killings. What DANIBA was doing wasn't just a simple coup d'etat. DANIBA wanted to organize another Rwanda, in West Africa. Because if it were a simple coup, from the moment he's sure he can defeat the captain, tell me why terrorist groups are positioned, weapons scattered in every village, others positioned on the borders, and white mercenaries brought in. Why was that? Because he knows that if he touches Traoré, the population will lynch him. They'll lynch him alive. So he brought everything needed to massacre this population, and then he'll sit there as president. For how long are you going to sit there as president? So DANIBA wanted to trigger another Rwanda. And in Rwanda, what they don't tell you, they say there were 1 million deaths, Tutsi and Hutu. Unfortunately, we often forget to say that Hutus died in Rwanda, Tutsi and Hutu, but afterwards. Rwanda took advantage of it to enter Congo and kill at least 10 million people. No one talks about it. You have to read Charles Inanna's books. You'll understand everything. So that's what Damiaba wanted to prepare. And what surprises me is these heads of state who are making a fuss, do they think their countries would be safe? I don't think so.
Yeah. Luka Baki, Damiba's arrival in Ouagadougou, the interrogations that have begun, the phone that's starting to talk, it somewhat confirms everything that's been said so far. Mercenaries hidden in Ouagadougou, weapons caches, funding networks from abroad, a series of dark files, that sends shivers down your spine.
No, it's not surprising. I don't know if they've already started gathering information from Damiba's phone or not, but what's certain is that the testimonies alone from Damiba's accomplices, all the actors who were involved, who were arrested, who were involved in the coup project.
People have continued, by the way.
And who testified, it was more than enough for us to understand the level of perversity of those people.
Yes, but his arrival.
And so his arrival, in fact, even before the phone even speaks, when you analyze it closely, you aren't surprised by the media hype that his extradition alone has created on social media and throughout the entire subregion. It means that if people are so worked up, it's likely because they know that the arrest and the extradition of Damiba will create an incredible breakthrough in terms of revealing the truths and the conspiracy against the regime of Ibrahim Traoré. That is the drift. So hearing about weapons caches or a whole campaign of subversion to destroy the state of Burkina Faso is not surprising. I'm convinced that with Damiba's arrest and the whole process, the arrests and questioning based on information held by the Burkinabe intelligence services will be stunned to see the level of involvement of certain people in this subregion and even internationally. And that's it. That's what the countries of the Alliance of Sahel states decided to fight against over 5 years ago. Which explains why we're committed to supporting them, because without that, our states will always remain in vassalage, instability, and ungovernability. So that the imperialists will continue to reign in triumph, freely looting our resources and treating us however they want. And yet, Their entire economy relies essentially on the resources that we have right here. But how much longer must we accept this?